All right, so have you ever, like, looked at one of those best books ever lists and just, like, wondered what makes a book the best, you know? Like, are we really all agreeing on this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Those lists can get people riled up, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even about, like, arguing about which book should be number one. It's more about, like, who are the authors behind those books,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And what does it say about what we value in literature, especially, like, when you look at how many men versus women are on those lists, you know?
Right. It makes you wonder if there are, like, underlying patterns, you
Yeah.
know? Like, why are some voices amplified more than others?
Totally, and that's kind of what we're going to deep dive into today. We're taking a look at a specific best books list that's pretty popular, and the numbers are kind of striking, actually.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome to Gender Decoded, where numbers align, seeing the stories that data defines, breaking the barriers, truth untold, insights in gender, the data falls.
When you look at the top 100,
Mm-hmm.
a whopping 68% are by men.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big gap.
Yeah, it is. But get this, the top 10,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost even Steven, with women actually holding a slight majority.
Really? Huh. That's interesting. So, like, why the difference?
That's what we're going to dig into today, like what's going on there.
Okay, so are we thinking like a historical thing, maybe?
Totally. Like
Yeah.
for centuries, publishing was basically a boys' club.
Right. Women couldn't even get their work out there.
It's wild to think some of the biggest names like George Eliot and the Bronte sisters, they had to use male pen names just to be published.
Wow, imagine all the amazing stories we might have missed out on because of that.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So that historical exclusion like really shaped what even got considered great literature.
Yeah, and it's still affecting us today. Look at the top 1,000 books. It's 667 male authors to 333 women.
Yikes. That's a huge difference.
Like, we're building on uneven ground, you know?
Totally. But beyond history, I think genre plays a role too.
Right.
Or like we all know those stereotypes. Men write fantasy and sci-fi, women get romance and domestic dramas.
Absolutely. And it's not just the stereotypes, it's how those genres are valued. Like, think about the Pulitzer Prize for fiction. How many romance novels win that thing?
Good point.
Hmm.
It makes you wonder if best books lists are really about quality or just pushing those old ideas about what's important.
Exactly. And that reminds me of Harold Bloom's Western canon.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that super controversial?
Totally. It was slammed for being mostly male and favoring certain genres.
Like the criteria for greatness was already biased from the start.
Right. And here's something else we found. What's really fascinating is that there are these patterns in what men and women write about, like in the content itself.
Okay, spill a tea. What are we talking about?
Well, from what I've read, male authors often focus on those big external conflicts, like power struggles, societal structures, you know.
Those epic stories like Lord of the Rings or 1984.
Exactly. But women writers tend to go deeper into their characters, like exploring relationships, emotional depth, how women face challenges in subtle ways.
Like To Kill a Mockingbird or Jane Eyre. They really get under your skin.
Right. And it makes you wonder how different things would be if those voices had always been valued equally.
Makes you think, huh? So I gotta ask, does the author's gender actually matter to you as a reader?
That's a good question. Honestly, I think every reader should ask themselves that. Like, are we drawn to certain stories because of who wrote them?
It's like being aware of our own biases.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, a great story is a great story. But this gap does have wider implications, you know? Fewer female authors on those lists means less visibility for their work.
Right, and fewer role models for women who want to write.
And we get a narrower range of stories being celebrated. It's like we're missing out on a whole world of experiences and perspectives.
Definitely. So knowing all this, what can we do about it? Like, how do we make the literary world more inclusive?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's what we'll dive into in part 2. We'll look at some amazing movements that are changing things.
Sounds good. I'm really looking forward to that. But for now, what are your biggest takeaways from all this?
I think what stands out most is how history, genre, and content all connect. It's like literary archaeology, digging into these layers of influence that shaped what we consider great.
And understanding those patterns helps us challenge them.
Right, we can start building a more balanced literary landscape.
So we've talked about like the historical reasons behind this gap
Right.
and how it's still affecting things today. But are things changing? Like, are people doing anything to fix it?
Oh, definitely. It's like readers are finally realizing that those old lists are missing something. They're not telling the whole story.
Right, they're just one perspective.
Exactly. And there's this movement now to like redefine what great literature even means, to move beyond those narrow definitions.
I'm all ears. Like,
Yeah.
how are people actually doing that?
Well, for one thing, there are all these new book awards and lists popping up, and they're specifically focused on celebrating diversity.
So it's not just about adding a few more women to the old lists.
Nope. It's about creating a whole new space for voices that have been ignored. Women, people of color, LGBTQ authors, writers from different backgrounds.
It's like building a new table instead of fighting for scraps at the old one.
Exactly. And these new awards are judging things differently, too. They're looking for diverse perspectives and experiences.
That's awesome. So it's like a whole new way of thinking about what makes a book great.
Right. And it's introducing readers to incredible authors they might never have found otherwise.
Like opening up a whole new world of stories.
Exactly. But it's not just about awards either. There are all these book clubs and online groups popping up that are all about reading diverse authors.
That's so cool. It's like a community of people saying, hey, these voices matter. We need to hear these stories.
And publishers are noticing too. We're seeing more diverse books being published and reviewed, and readers are buying them, which is huge.
It's like a chain reaction. People are demanding change, and the industry is starting to respond.
Right. So things are definitely moving in the right direction, but there are still challenges.
Like what kind of challenges?
Well, one of the biggest ones is unconscious bias. Like we all have these ideas about what makes a good book, and those ideas are shaped by the culture we grew up in.
It's like those default settings in our brains.
Exactly. And it takes effort to recognize those biases and be open to something different, to step outside our comfort zones.
Right. Like we need to retrain our brains to appreciate all kinds of different voices and stories.
Yeah. And another challenge is the lack of diversity within the publishing industry itself. Like the people who decide what gets published and marketed, they don't always reflect the diversity of the readers.
That's a good point. It's like a bottleneck.
Exactly. We need more diversity in editorial teams in marketing among literary critics. We need people from different backgrounds making decisions about what stories get told.
It's about making sure everyone has a fair shot.
Right. And it's not just about numbers either. It's about creating a culture where those diverse voices are truly valued and celebrated.
Like a space where everyone feels welcome and respected.
Exactly. So there's still work to be done. But there's a lot of positive energy out there, too. People are excited about this change.
I can feel that excitement, too. So what can we as readers do to be part of this? Like, are there any concrete steps we can take?
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we'll be digging into in part 3. We'll talk about some practical things you can do to support women authors and make a real difference.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear it. But before we move on, what's standing out to you so far?
It's funny. What really struck me is this idea of unconscious bias. It made me realize that I probably have some of those biases myself, and I need to be more aware of them, to actively seek out different perspectives.
All right, so we've talked about the why, and we've seen how people are, like, trying to change things. But now I want to know the how. Like, what can we as readers actually do to make a difference?
That's the big question, right? It's easy to talk about problems, but how do we actually be part of the solution?
Yeah, like, where do we even start?
Well, the most obvious thing is to diversify your reading list. Make a conscious effort to pick up books by women authors, especially from genres you don't normally read.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely guilty of sticking to my favorites.
We all do it. But branching out can be so rewarding. And think about where you buy your books, too.
Oh, yeah, like supporting local bookstores.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They often have a better selection of diverse titles, and you're supporting a small business.
It's a win-win. And what about reviews? Do those actually make a difference?
Oh, huge, especially for authors who aren't already super famous. Like, a good review can really help a book get noticed.
Makes sense. So write those reviews, people.
And don't forget about word of mouth. Tell your friends about the amazing books you're reading.
Spread the book love.
Exactly. And social media is great for that, too. Follow authors you like, share their work, start conversations about books.
Like a virtual book club.
Kinda. And, of course, the most direct way to support an author is to buy their book.
Right. Put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly. It shows publishers that there's a demand for these stories. And one more thought, support organizations that promote literacy and get books into the hands of people who might not have access.
Oh, that's a good one. Like making sure everyone has the opportunity to read and discover new voices.
Exactly. It's about creating a more equitable world for everyone. So as we wrap up this whole deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from all this?
I think it's that we all have a role to play in making the literary world more inclusive. And it doesn't have to be some big grand gesture. It's the small things we do every day that add up. You know, like choosing to read a book by a woman author or leaving a thoughtful review.
It's about being mindful and intentional and realizing that we as readers have power. You know, we can shape the kind of literary world we want to see.
So go forth and read. Seek out diverse voices. Challenge the status quo. And spread the word.
Happy reading, everyone!